Hi, I'm Derek Manfield and you're watching Toffee TV.
Welcome to the final word. Reading 1, Everton 2 in the Capital One Cup. Baz, we're through to the next round. Which one is it? I don't know, I can't remember. Fourth? Is that right?
Round.
We're through to the fourth round.
You remember which competition?
I can just about remember what competition. Through to the fourth round. That's what it's all about.
First time in 4 years, isn't it? Gone out to the third round the last few years. So it's the heady, we've reached the heights, unknown ground.
Unknown ground. And we don't, because of when we're recording this, we still don't know who we're playing. So, a bit stupid of us really to do that. We're playing in the next round, so that'll be a good game. Insert that later on. Let's talk about this game anyway. The team was a little bit strange. Let's just say that. It was a little bit strange. I think we were expecting a decent side, but the whole team was just weird. It was almost like the team was written out on a piece of paper and then shaped into a formation afterwards. I just didn't get it. It
was mad.
It was mad.
It was a bit of a berserk team. It was a bit of a... I'd seen comments on Twitter, people saying, that's the team I would have picked. It's ideal. I was thinking, is it really though?
Yeah.
Is it really with Aaron Lennon at right back? But it was... We thought he'd play 3-5-2. On paper it looked like it was going to be a 3-5-2, but it didn't line up. Then people were saying, I remember I messaged you before saying, do you think McCarthy will go to right back and he'll line up like that? And it didn't. It was just basically go out and have a game of footy and just play where you want. It's one of those 7-a-sides or whatever with your mates years ago, but they got the job done, I suppose. But
they did. I just found it a little bit strange with obviously Aaron Lennon playing right back and having Branningan on the bench. I just found that strange. Because you look at the team, Kone starting, you're thinking, why? Why did he need to start? He didn't play 45 minutes. Why did he need to start? There was no point in that. Funes Mori, I can understand why he started, and I think we'd already talked previously saying we would like Stones and Jagielka to stay together. So that made sense to bring him in at left back. But Branningan, he hasn't played any games. He played at the weekend and played very well, but he hasn't played, so why not just leave him in the team?
That was the biggest one for me, I think, the fact that he's a player who needs experience. He needs to feel as though he's part of the first team, because at the moment he's filling in for Seamus Coleman because Seamus is injured. He's not a player that's got 20, 30 games under his belt. He's come on last season in a couple of games and then we didn't see him again. And this season he's been there or thereabouts. Had a good game at the weekend against Swansea. So he's one for me, especially with the next game being 6 days away.
Yeah.
And the manager's already spoken that, Seamus Coleman may be available for that. So I would have thought giving Branningan another 90 minutes in the first team would have been a sensible way to go. I personally, I know on the preview show you were talking about wanting to keep Stones and Jagielka together. Yeah. I personally wouldn't have played John Stones after the whack he took on his knee, and obviously it panned out a little bit like that in the second half. But I just think when you've got a player who's took a heavy knock and he's vital to the way we play.
Surely that would have been assessed though.
Well, you say that. I mean,
we said about
James McCarthy was assessed before.
We said this, didn't we? We said this. He obviously wanted to give Joel a game, and I don't think you can put Joel in the team and then start messing up with one of the centre backs, especially someone who's so new as well to the team. I just don't think that would have worked. I just don't.
It worked second half.
But I look at you could have got Lennon in the side. You could have just left Kone out. Simple as that. Didn't need to play Kone. He didn't. He's been getting steadily sort of less effective. Not going to say poor or worse. Just he's been getting less effective in the team as every game's gone on.
I think you play him if you're playing down the middle.
Yeah.
If he wanted to say, right, I want to try and get you the goal, then take Lukaku out of it. But I don't think it didn't really offer us anything new playing Kone with Lukaku, because he still stood out on the wing. And let's be honest, he does his job out on the wing. He works hard and he's good defensively and things like that. But he offers us very little in terms of creating things. And we saw when Delafeu was out there how important it is to have someone who's got that ability in that area.
Yeah, so strange setup, strange start, and I was just annoyed, to be honest, because we want to win this trophy. We want to win every trophy, but you know, this is a trophy which we've got a decent chance of winning. It's the only trophy out there at the moment, you know, to go for. And you go into a team like Reading, they've had a decent start, they're decent defensively, and you just think it's more luck really that we got through than actually having a really good performance. You know, that first half performance was quite poor. You know, we went a goal behind. You know, poor defending from Funes Mare, the goalkeeper. You've picked out John Stones as well from that goal as well. So you know, we go behind in the first half, and it was looking sort of similar to the Barnsley game in a way, because again we've gone into a game and we haven't clicked first half, and it's took a half-time reshuffle and the manager having a word to get us back on track.
Yeah, I mean, the goal, going back, I mean, up until the goal, it was probably Everton were on top, but without being very convincing.
Yeah.
You know, we had a lot of the ball in the middle. You know, Delafeu had a couple of threatening runs. Their keepers made a couple of good blocks. Nothing sensational, but a couple of good blocks. I'd say we were ahead in the game in terms of having the ball, but you'd expect us to be having 8, 9, 10 chances in that first half. We weren't.
We hadn't created much.
Not really. It was, you know, wayward shots. And the goal broke down because we're committing men forward, and Ross Barkley gives a cheap ball away, and then we're playing catch-up. It gets worked out to the right. Lennon's tracking the lad. And I just think with John Stones, he's such a good defender, and he defends situations really, really well, especially almost a 1v1. And he gets out there superbly well. He's out alongside the lad. And he doesn't do one or the other. He doesn't go and make the tackle, or he doesn't try and get a block, and he just runs with him the way Lennon was, and he puts it across. And then once it comes in, Funes Mare has got to be aware that the kid's coming in behind. You can't be blind when that cross comes in. You should know. You should be touched tight, or at least have a look. And him and Joel getting a little bit of a mix-up. We're 1-0 down, and then you're thinking, you know, here we go. Yeah. You know, this is a game that we should have, you know, we haven't really got to grips with. We're going to have to come behind again. And I think, you know, we made a decision at half-time. We're 1-0 down. People looking, he took a centre-forward off and put Gareth Barry on. And there will have been, that few metre will have gone up a little bit. With people going, we've got Leandro there, why isn't he putting him on? Or we've got, you know, other players, different options, attackers. But it turned out to be an very astute substitution, because Gareth Barry, for me, was man of the match.
But it's an insurance policy, isn't it? That's what it is. I mean, I've seen a lot of people fuming at half-time about the decision, but it is an insurance policy. It's basically, you know, we put him in there to basically allow Barkley to get forward, to allow Delafeu to get forward a bit more, you know, and it worked. You know, it worked. You know, as you mentioned there, Gareth Barry was magnificent for the whole that second half. But you know, you talk about that 4 minutes after that, the half time. You know, we're having to make another change. Obviously, John Stones gets a whack on the knee. You know, as you mentioned, and Brendan Galloway's got to come on, and you're just thinking at that point, 1-0 down, John Stones going off. There was no messing about with it. He was straight off, so you're fearing the worst. Now he walked off, but you're just thinking, oh, he's done something here. You know, and it just seemed very bleak at that moment.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? You know, 1-0 down away from home and losing your best centre-half, or certainly, you know, part of what is the best partnership in the Premier League. It looks like, you know, the way they've started the season. But I think Galloway helped us, I think, because he's willing to get forward. He's willing to take the ball out of his feet and run. He obviously pushed Murray into the middle with Jagielka, and I thought he looked a lot better at centre-half.
More comfortable
than he did at full-back. Galloway's been magnificent for us this season. You know, he's, like you said on another video, he's come in and done really, really well. And we just had the shape better. Barry sat there. All of a sudden, McCarthy was on further 10 yards. Ross was becoming more energy, more instrumental. Just had a little bit of a better shape. Still, the left-hand side wasn't great. Ozzy didn't do much, really. He was a bit disappointed with it. I know he takes the ball and he helps it on and stuff. And I was really, really disappointed in Lukaku up front. I thought he stank the place out all night.
And then we spoke about that in the last video. There's no option, is there? You've started Coney, you've took him off. Yes, he had Leandro Rodriguez on the bench, but there's no option. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, drop him, or... But as we said, you know, as we talked with Ronnie the other day, what do you do with him? Because you start with Coney, So you haven't got that chance to swap them over. He's gonna from now on. I think he's gonna have to bite the bullet. Which I mean, I hope he does anyway. And says Coney starts on the bench because he's our second striker, or you know, I know he's got Naismith there, but Naismith's a very, very different player and doesn't play into the style that we want to play in. That's what he's got to do. You know, I know it's like we're like a broken record, but not buying another striker when Lukaku's not in good form, it shows that what a mistake it was. At the moment, I mean, who knows? Leandro Rodriguez might prove to be that striker and need a little bit of time, but at the moment, it's when Rom's having a bit of a bad spell, it's hard to know what to do with him, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we have said about it so many times, and this is why when people were having breakdowns over the lack of a number 10, for me, it's the next bit on. It's great having this number 10, this exotic number 10 who can create chances, but there's going to be times in your season when your main centre-forward isn't playing well or isn't scoring goals. Our second centre-forward has got, 2 in a year or something like that, so he's not exactly prolific. And we've got an unknown quantity in Leandro Rodriguez. Now, he may be Gunnar Ola Solskjaer, which would be absolutely marvellous. You know, an unknown quantity comes off the bench, gets you goals. Naismith can play there, but he's used very sparingly in that position. So I think, you know, the manager's got to make a decision. Maybe last night would have been better with Kone down the middle, Lukaku coming on for the last half an hour, fresh when they're getting a bit tired. Might have got on the end of things. But I think Rom is one of those players that needs to kick up the backside. I think when he's too comfortable, he loses his edge a little bit. And I think at West Brom, he couldn't get in their side. Then he did, and 18 goals, he exploded. When he come to us, he wanted to prove a point when he come on loan. Yeah. Then he had a spell out the team and came back and finished the season brilliantly. Last year, I think you've mentioned it before, he got left out at Newcastle last year and he came back with a flurry of goals. And I think he needs that. He's one of those players. He's too nice in some ways. He needs to kick up the backside.
I just think now, definitely with Lennon playing that game, that there is now a chance to either leave Kone out, or dare I say, leave Rom out and play Kone up front. I mean, it's not ideal, but he has got that option now at least. I mean, as I said before, I would have played Lennon right midfield last night, played Branningan and played either Kone or Rom up front. I just don't see the need for both.
Jerry? What would you have done with him? Played him on the left?
Yeah. But
because I think Lennon can do the job on the left as well. It's not ideal because they're both so right-footed, aren't they? But Kevin Morales has played. Stephen Pienaar was,
I think with Lennon, you've got to work it out. It's not like a typical winger where you worry if they're going to track back. Lennon, that he does that. It's part of his makeup. We've seen that last season. He's got that in him. So
I think Browning would have benefited from Delafeu because Tyus Browning's fantastic defensively. And like we said, he could have got to the halfway line, give it to Jerry. Because let's be honest, Jerry's we haven't got anyone else like him in the squad.
Well, I thought he had a great game. I thought first half he was frustrated. There was a lot of things not going his way. He wasn't getting fouls. There was a lot of fouls that he didn't get, and it frustrated him. You could see that.
Let me ask you the question: penalty on him or not?
Seen them given.
Not for me.
I'm just saying.
No. People saying to me, it was a definite penalty. I thought he'd lost the ball and he just ran into it.
But I've seen them given. That's all.
Outside the box.
But I thought he had a good game. I thought what was good was the frustration he showed in the first half. There was one where the cameraman right in his face and he just looked like he was either going to burst out crying or go ballistic. It was just like, and the crowd were getting.
What was it like?
And the crowd were on his back, and he could have easily got wound up, but he didn't. He put it into his game, and the second half had a little bit more freedom. Don't get me wrong. I thought first half he had a good run at them.
He was our best threat,
but they defended him quite well because they ganged up on him because no one else was doing much for us. They ganged up on him and they pushed him down. The alleys he didn't want to go down. But second half, I thought he was great. Started creating a lot more, and as we got our foot on the ball with Barry and started getting control of it. You could see a lot more of them, and they were getting further and further back, and we end up getting the equalizer. I mean, obviously it wasn't him who scored, but is helping the drive get forward. And what an equalizer! What an equalizer it was. Ross Barkley with that unfavoured left foot, which I always listen. I don't mind. I've said loads of times when he scores with his left foot, they're always absolute crackers. It's the other 99 that. But when it's controlled like that, and he's not just taking a swing with it. You know, he's fantastic.
I think it was a marvellous strike, and he does have, you know, I pointed out to someone on Twitter last night who was trying to say, you know, give a bit of stick about the left foot thing. That was probably his 411th shot since his last left foot goal. But I think the difference this year when he's shooting with his left foot is he's more confident, and everything is a little bit more controlled. Last season, because he was trying to force everything, he was just wildly lashing at balls, and he was flying up the stadium and things like that. He's got that power. He showed it against Arsenal in Thailand, didn't he? With his left foot, he beat Petr Cech from 20 yards. It was an arrow into the top corner. He's got that, you know, that ability is in him, and when it's controlled and when he's feeling good about himself, he's fantastic. And he from that equaliser, he grew and grew and grew. I mean, in the first half, it was only him or Toffee who the spark was coming from. And once we equalised, everyone kind of, it was like, this isn't going to be one of those nights actually where we go out 2-0 and we haven't put we haven't really put it in, because you've seen everyone straight back to business. And then I always felt as though we'd then go on and get 3 or 4, because they kind of looked as though they'd accepted that maybe the chance
there wasn't much in
there
them,
wasn't
was
enough
there?
in it. And we pushed forward, and like you say, Gareth Barry gave us that. Ross got on the ball. Toffee, who's marvellous 1v1. I don't know whether there's another winger like him in the Premier League for getting on a 1v1 situation and being able to get round them. And we pressed them further and further back, and it was good. You know, it was good that they turned around such a disappointing display in the first half.
Yeah, and you know, as you said, then we kept pushing them further back. You know, we were starting to pick up fouls in more dangerous areas, and you know, obviously we got the free kick.
Brilliant free kick.
Toffee took it on the 73rd minute, and it went in.
You're not convinced, are you?
Listen, I'll go as far as saying I think it should be given as an own goal. That's how bad the goalkeeper... I know I'm only messing, but that's how bad the goalkeeper was. I mean, it was so appalling. It was on target, it went in, happy days, but the goalkeeper, oh my God, what are you doing?
I'll be honest though.
We were linked with him once.
I hope we have those all season. 5 a game will do me. You know,
we never seem to be on the end of get it one.
What I didn't understand was why he didn't just save it. It's all this trying to push it somewhere else. I know they talk about trying to get it out your it, but when you're that deep, he was on his line. Just get a block on it, and then it's up to your defenders to pick the bits up. But look, he hit it well. It was on target. It's ended up in the net, and that's great for him. His first goal, you know, since signing permanently for us. So hopefully that'll give him a little bit
confidence. And you look at it now, you think, well, has he done enough again to keep himself in the team? He was fantastic at the game against Barnes. He was fantastic in this game. I think what's happening is he's growing more and more. He talks about confidence and talks about the confidence the manager gets him, but physically he looks like he's starting to handle things a lot better. Emotionally, he looks like he's starting to handle things a lot better. Different ways of how people play against them, you know, whether they just want to kick him or push him down dark alleys, and he's just getting better and better. So I think I'm not necessarily sure whether he should just necessarily start the next game, but I think he's pushed himself ahead of other people now.
Definitely. I think what needs to happen in the next game is Coney needs to come out. I think, or Rom. I don't think them two are working well enough together to stay in the team. The pair of them, I think. We go to West Brom, it'll be a physical game. But we've got to have a little bit of quality in that final third, because they're going to be launching balls up the pitch. They're going to be getting in our faces, putting tackles in. And I think Lennon, he's got 90 minutes under his belt, albeit 20 yards further back down the pitch than he wants to be. But that just shows his application and his work rate, and he wants to play for Everton. He just got on with it. He put tackles in. He was up and down. I
think Lennon now, the way Martinez wants to play is just a shoe-in. He's a shoe-in now, because I think Morales has proved he can't be trusted, and Delafeu's like that sort of not secret weapon, but he's a luxury at times. Whereas Lennon, I think for a winger, is just not a luxury, because he works hard, really hard.
Personally, I'd have him in on the right-hand side on Monday night. Delafeu coming off the bench with half an hour to go, not 10 minutes. Give him a good half an hour. You've got Lennon, whether that be the right side or the left side, you know. But I think it is time to try and say to Coney now, right, okay, you've done us a good job. We've got a good platform where we are in the Premier League. We've got decent points to turn. Time to mix it up a little bit now, because we're just in that little bit of a lull where we're looking less and less threatening with them. at the moment. I think when they're both playing really well, it might work again, but you've got to know when to shape it.
He went off at half-time, Coney, and I just wonder whether it's all caught up with him. I just wonder whether it's all caught up with him all the games after, because he's been out for so long and he hasn't had such little football that it's, you know, he might need to come out the team now. The
big thing is we got through.
Yeah,
we didn't play well first half. We turned it around. We were much better second half. Wasn't as if we were hanging on.
No, I thought we finished the game really
strongly. And look, we're in the half of the next round, and I'll take that.
Listen, man has rolled the dice. He got lucky, I think, from the first half performance, but he's come through in the second half, and we're through, aren't we? It's as simple as that. Tell us what you think about this game. Tell us, do you think we can go all the way and win this tournament? It's about time we won something. Tell us in the comments below, on Twitter as well. It is at ToffeeTV1. Don't forget to subscribe. We are within 100 of 5,000. So come on, get us there. Just get us there. We'll see you again next time on Toffee TV.